This video is to go over the operation and use of the Indie Commerce integration with the IBIDie point of sale system. Here we are on the main menu, and our first step will be to go to the Special Orders F11 submenu. And on that submenu, we have the two main processing programs, F7 e-commerce order and F8 checkout e-commerce orders. The utilities are gone over on another video. This video will primarily concern itself with the F7 e-commerce order screen, as it is the primary screen for processing orders. When entering this screen, the user will be displayed a list of all the unclosed e-commerce orders that have been downloaded by Indie Commerce to the store system. The e-commerce orders are refreshed on a 20-minute cycle. This first screen will show any order that is not closed and not processed. There are two main steps to completing the integration. The first step is to process the order. The second step is to check out the order. Processing the order is simply reviewing the order and making the determination whether to enter a special order for any or all of the items on the e-commerce order, or to skip the process of creating a special order. So if we look at and on this display, you will see that they display oldest first as a default, and it gives you the name, the organization, the phone number, the date and time it was taken, how it was paid, the current status. Please note that the phone numbers, and you'll notice throughout this demonstration that the phone numbers and the email addresses and the physical addresses have all been masked over with the IBID Hermitage location address and phone number. These were orders that have been scraped from various stores' websites, and we didn't want to expose any information of a personal nature. You can, as most any of the screens that are a grid box in form, you can click and the column heading, and it will sort the list of unprocessed orders. The interesting thing is, when you do this, let's say we sort it by name. If we leave and come back, it will remember the order in which you sorted the list last. This is so if you have a particular way that you want the list sorted, when you view it, it will remember that, and you won't have to resort the list every time you come back in. This is particularly useful in the tagging process, which we'll get to later. The buttons at the bottom, the first button is skipped. As we said, if you skip an order, it means you're not going to process the special order against it. And we'll go back to that. It just reviews the table of orders that you've skipped. The only reason that is that if you skip the order and you decide you want to change it, you can unskip it, which is in case you've made a mistake. The special order button is where let's go back to where a particular order is processed, where it'll load up the information, the customer information in the books and whatever. We'll go back through all of these. The go-to is simply because if the list is long and you have an order that you're looking for, like 44782, if it wasn't displayed, you can just simply enter 44782, and it will, well, you have to key it in right. And it will find it for you and bring it up on, make sure it's on the screen. That's all. It's no, it's not anything. It's just to save you from having to work through the orders and display them. Close is where you can simply close an order, which means you're not going to process it, whether it's skipped or you're not going to process it on IBIDie. You can always do that here. You might want to look, you would look at the details first to see if, maybe it was an order type that you aren't using the integration for. You can come back and do that. Okay. So let's say that I want to get, all right, let's look at this one. Got Benjamin Herzkovitz, and we're going to go in to process the order. All right, you can see here we have, the first thing we have is the customer information. The customer information gives us the name as it was entered on the website, as well as the ship to address as it was entered on the website. Now you notice that we've mapped this over to the Hermitage address, and the phone number and the email address. Now, the first thing that we can do is we may want to attach this to a given customer, a customer record, maybe one of your better customers, and you want to track that they bought that. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One, this box at the top, these gray boxes, work the same way that it does in the special order system. So if you put a portion of the name in and maybe the state, and then do a search, it would look for any matches. Doesn't find any. You might, the dupes key, that is a new feature, it will look for duplicates. There aren't any, but you'll see when it comes back here that what it did is it automatically fills in the last name, the city, state, and zip. So when you hit the duplicate button, what it's going to do is automatically look for an obvious duplicate of that. Well, we don't have one. So what we can do is we can click the customer button. And if we click the customer button, it's going to load that customer up into the customer screen. And you'll see it also comes from an e-commerce order into the notes. We can simply add it, which adds the customer to the customer file. And then we come back, you can see the account number has been filled in. This has been tagged to that person. Okay. Over here, this is the e-commerce number. We have not created a special order yet, so it's not here. But we see that on the web order that this was the freight and the sales tax collected and the total amount and how it's been entered. Now, over here, each of the titles. You can see that the three titles are in different states. In other words, this parable of the sower, the third one, you'll notice it has a list price and it has an on hand, which obviously says negative, but an on order. That indicates that that title is already in the inventory system. The Death of Vivex, this novel, has no list price, has no information, nor does the Night Boat of Tangier have one, which means it hasn't been added yet. It's not in the inventory. This data is coming from content at Ingram. All right. So we can decide on each line, we're default, they ordered one. We can special order, put the X. I can also toggle it. The toggle is off and on. Or I can special order it with a to be ordered. The reason it's different is that in a normal special order, when you put an item on special order, it automatically goes to be ordered. Here, since we figure a lot of titles that are coming in are orders for new books that you have a big publisher outstanding order, Many of them you might want to put on a special order so that it is intercepted at receiving, but there's no need to put it on a to be ordered list because you've got the big publisher order awaiting shipment. So in this case, this is not one of those, so we have it to be ordered. Now, on the next one, you can, if when I create the special order, just like always when I create a special order, it will add this title automatically to my inventory system. However, if I would like, I can slip to the item. See, this is not in stock. I can slip to the item screen, and it'll load it up from the stuff with Ingram. This way, I can make any edits that I want with publisher, whatever, before I add, and then add it here. So when I come back, you'll see that title is already entered in inventory. This one I didn't. All right, so let's so we've added all those to be ordered, and we're going to now, then we are going to create the special order. Special order is created. You'll see it's filled in here. All right. Now, once I've done that, this checkout button has come lit and active. So I can now, it's a pre-sale of a special order. So it will process the order through the register, and in this little box here has the dollars that came in from the website, and over here you'll see that it is the dollars that I rang it through, and this is probably different for maybe a tax reason or whatever. In yours, it'll usually come it'll come up to the proper title, the proper total. These are just random orders that we've picked up. One of the things that you'll notice though is it does automatically add in the shipping. And once it's here, I can complete the order. I'm just in the register now. I can do whatever I want. I can set this up for my web order. If I am using the same workstation for all my web orders, or that's the only one, you could set web order up as the default tender for this terminal, and then it will, you won't have to keep setting it. And once you process, it will come back to you. Now, the reason it returns to this screen is that you can now do the SPO print. And if you do it after you've run the transaction through the register, the print will have on it this information that it was prepaid in full, the register, the transaction amount and date, and the e-commerce order number. This is very useful to have on any reprint of the special order, and is especially useful when they print it at receiving so they can see that it's been prepaid and that it's an e-commerce title. If you print this before you do the register, it will not have the transactional information. Also, the receipt that prints off the receipt printer will also reference the special order number, the e-commerce number, so that it is also easily cross-referenced from that. And once I go back and it returns me to the screen, you'll see that one is processed. If we go in and try another one, this one, you'll see we have it on hand. So let's do this one. So on this one, what may be the normal course would be to check each of these. So we go to the details screen and we check it, and oh, this one we can fill from store inventory. All right. If I want to see the notes, Those are the notes. The attributes, those are the attributes. But one of the things that I can do is, oh, this one can be filled with store inventory. So from the details screen, I can simply print a pick list. And the pick list, blow it up here so you can see, will have the notes information, including, because I've set that up in my configuration to have the notes, have the SPO number, the e-commerce number. Well, there isn't an SPO number, excuse me, there's because we hadn't created one. But here's the on hand, the on order, and inventory information. So I can simply print that. Now, this is where you might use the tagging option. So I'm just reviewing this, and the first thing I can do is I can tag it. And these are, I can set up the 5 tags that I want to use if I want to use tags. This one is I set this one up to be in store. So I can just click that, and that tags it as in store. Now, when I come back, you'll see that that one's tagged as in store. So if I assign, so let's say that I go into this one, let's say that one's not going to be, so let's say I reviewed this one, and I say, oh, you know what? I want Dave to do that one. Then I can always, when I come out here, I can always just sort by that to get all the Daves or all the in-store ones together. The other process that I could use is I can come in here, and if I wanted, I could say this one, let me find if I have one here that might be more. I just want to look for one that I might want to skip. Well, we'll just pretend. Let's say that here, I'm just going to skip this. By skipping it, I am not creating a special order for any items on it. So it's entered on the skip table, all right? But this checkout lit up. So even though I skipped doing the special order, I can simply still run the checkout. And since it's not there, it will ask me if I want to add the items to inventory. So sure I do. And it does, and so it checks it out. I can step down through my orders to do that. I have buttons here to create the special orders, to skip it, to now skipping it, remember, just means skipping, creating a special order. I can always jump to the item screen. TBO sets it up. I can do the special order search from here. And notice that on the special order search, I have the new e-commerce input so that I can look up any special orders from an e-commerce order number. All right. Also remember that it resorts in the order that I last used when looking at it. So the suggestion would be that if you have a lot of orders, that you can simply sit here, pull up the details to determine who you want or what group you want those to be in, whether you want to print a picked list or whatever. Now, if I skip orders, this will just simply give me the ones that I've skipped, which means I just have not created a special order for any of the items on there. If I simply unskip any of those, they'll show back up on the screen. Now, one of the things that we did was we have checked out every order that we've processed. By processing, I mean that we've either created a special order or we've skipped it. However, if we do that and we do not do the checkout, we want to check out later. Any e-commerce order that has been processed, meaning that it has either been skipped or had a special order created, but not checked out, you can then check out by going to the F8 checkout e-commerce orders. All of these, see, these 3 have the SPO number on here. These 5, this one was skipped. All right. But any of these can be just checked out because they've already been processed. Okay, so if there are stores that wish to not do the checkout until the product is actually shipped. I recommend doing the checkout right on the F7 screen when you're processing the order for the special order, so that it makes the reconciliation more timely as the money comes in to reconcile what you have tendered as a web order versus what comes from the reconciliation of the website money. It is better to, I think it is easier to reconcile if you try to get those about at the same time. Since the money's collected at order entry, if you then process the order and run it through the register in the same day, the reconciliation ought to be easier. The only other option that is kind of useful on this screen is we have had a request that the orders that were all in stock, that were just to be shipped from the shelf, that what could be done was running through here, and just as you go into the, you can just go in and skip them. Okay, it's one that we're just going to skip because it doesn't have to do a special order. So then if you come in here and you don't do the checkout, they'll all be in this screen. So then you can just know that all of these can just be checked out. However, all of them need to be checked out after the product has been pulled from the shelves. This pick list, instead of the pick list that is on the detail screen, prints a pick list for every specific order that you click on. However, this will print a group pick list, and it'll print the pick list for all the orders on the screen. So if you simply go in and skip all of the e-commerce orders that product shows in stock, they'll all jump to here. You can jump to here, then print a pick list for all of them, pull the stock, come back in, and just simply check out the orders as you go through the list. If the inventory was in error, you would have to order one, but in the most case, you'll have the books and the pick list right with you. That is the general idea of operating the Indie Commerce integration on IBIDie.